Will it be victory for the victory, or will the Jets fly high here at Olympic Park this afternoon? It's Melbourne against Newcastle, and after 4 rounds, the home team are still searching for their first win of the season. But it doesn't get any easier against a team aiming for their 3rd win on the trot. Joining me for this intriguing contest is Graham Arnold.
Thanks, Mike. Already an important game in the competition for Melbourne Victory. They've had 3 draws out of 4 games. They've been on the road for the last 3 games. There you see Christian Sarkis. One of the youngsters in midfield has been elevated into the side today, getting a massage, and up against the experienced Newcastle Jets side, Jade North, Ned Zelic at the back. A game of 2 tales, the experience of the Newcastle Jets up against the inexperienced Melbourne Victory.
And it's a very relaxed Newcastle team which has arrived in Melbourne as well. No wonder after 2 wins on the trot, the Uruguayan Mateo Cordova there on screen comes back from suspension. And Richard Money has what he believes is his strongest 11 available this afternoon. More on that in a moment. But a lot of pressure on this Melbourne Victory side. Of course, they've had a solid start to the season, but they still haven't had the 3 points.
Still haven't had the 3 points, and their last 2 games have been against 10-man sides, Adelaide and Queensland Roar, where they would have been disappointed to not at least get a win against those 2 teams, but they're back at home, Mike. It's important that you win your home games. Kevin Muscat made a reference to that before the game, how important that was. Good crowd in here at Melbourne Victory Olympic Park here today. And definitely they'll be looking for the victory, the 3 points.
Yes, it is a grey old afternoon here in Melbourne, but of course the Victory looking for a bit of blue sky, and that will come with a win at home in front of their fans. We had a sellout here for the Victory's first home game of the season. It will go close again this afternoon, so the Victorian public certainly voting with their feet in support of their new team, the Melbourne Victory. So not long now until the kick-off, and it's going to be Newcastle United in their away strip. The Melbourne Victory, of course, in their dark blue, led out by their skipper, Kevin Muscat, the captain of the Jets this afternoon. Ned Zelic, 2 former Socceroos. Although former is a word they probably don't want attached to their international ambitions just yet. But it is a game full of quality, full of players who have played for their countries, full of players who are used to performing at the highest level. There's some warm support for Melbourne as they make their way across the running track. The Victory fans will need to get behind their team if Melbourne are to get their first win of the season. So important to the Victory cause, the number 10, Archie Thompson, a player who is in the midst of a World Cup campaign with the Socceroos. Just 1 goal so far this season for Archie Thompson, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to at least double that tally against the Newcastle Jets this afternoon. Well, they call themselves the Union, the hardcore Melbourne Victory fans, and they do make plenty of noise.
Let us show the world that football brings people together.
Kevin Muscat leading the line for the Victory. And you can see the determination written on the face of those Melbourne Victory players. Well, let's check the team news. And firstly, the Victory, 3 changes made by coach Ernie Merrick in goals. Eugene Galekovic replaces Michael Theoklitos. Simon Story comes into the defence. Christian Sarkis into midfield. Carl Recchia and Richard Kitzbichler are the players to make way. And Kevin Muscat restored to his favourite position on the right-hand side of that defence. For the Newcastle Jets, 2 changes made by Richard Money. It is what he believes his strongest starting 11. Ante Milicic returns from injury. Mateo Cordova from suspension. Guy Bates and Stuart Muselik are the unlucky players to make way. And a couple of interesting names on the bench this afternoon for the Jets. 2 new signings during the week, James Money and Ben Kennedy. There's Archie Thompson, a player in a rich vein of form for his country, but not yet at his best for his club. Thompson again partnered by Danny Allsop in this Melbourne Victory attack. And if the Victory have a classy number 10, so too the Jets. Nicky Carl leads the league in assists, and his combination with Ante Milicic will again be a feature of Newcastle's play. So just moments now away from the kickoff here at Olympic Park. as we mentioned, an overcast afternoon, but ideal playing conditions. The referee is Craig Zeta from South Australia, promoted from the B panel for this afternoon's fixture. And it will be the Victory to get the game underway. Muscat loops the ball into the middle. And just a word, Graham Arnold, on Kevin Muscat going back to that right-hand side of defence.
Well, that's a position I much prefer to see him in, more comfortable on the right-hand side. You should see Kevin get forward more than he does on the left-hand side, but the fact that he'll be in behind Christian Sarkis, a young player that he can give his knowledge to help him through the 90 minutes, is just as important.
Allsop. Challenged by Alan Picken. And that throw will go to Newcastle, much to the anger of Danny Allsop. Pretty much to his own relief, got himself off the mark last weekend. Danny Allsop playing his 250th game at club level this afternoon. Career, of course, which began in Australia and involved a fairly long spell in the lower leagues in England. Eugene Galekovic with his first touch of the football. Ernie Merrick on that Melbourne Victory bench, flanked by Gary Cole. Plays, has missed it. Chance for Newcastle. Milicic. Well, he thought about chipping the goalkeeper. The block came eventually. Nicky Carl. And that was the wrong foot as far as Nicky Carl was concerned, but a worrying sign for Melbourne Victory.
Good ball there from Richie Johnson over top. Melbourne Victory defence getting caught square there. Ante Milicic, I thought, would have pulled the trigger a bit earlier.
Well, Thompson goes down. The challenge came from Corbo. And I think that Paul Kohler thought he heard a whistle. Well, he was clean through Ante Milicic. He looked up. You could see him checking where the goalkeeper was. Thought about trying to lob it over Eugene Galekovic. And maybe that hesitation was fatal. Carl. And no flag from the assistant. And they've all watched and waited the Melbourne Victory. Labano Haliti will learn a lot over the course of the season from Ante Milicic. And it's an opportunity he needs to take. Haliti, a player rated highly by Milicic. And there's nothing better for a young striker than to have an experienced player alongside him.
And that he has. Ante Milicic forged a career over in Europe before coming back in the old NSL and now in the A-League. But Haliti is an exciting young prospect.
Well, with the header. And that ball coming off Adrian Leia. So Mark Burns still out through injury for the Melbourne Victory, but before the game, Mark Burns suggesting that his comeback is going better than he expected. Thompson, chance here for Allsop. And what an important interception that was in the end from Ned Zelic. Both teams now opened up.
Wonderful ball there from Michael Ferrante, and that's Archie Thompson at his best, running in between defenders. Lovely little ball into Daniel Allsop, but a beautiful touch there by Zelic. Crucial interception, Mike.
And facing his own goal as well. An own goal was a real possibility there, so a cool head from Ned Zelic.
Intriguing battle for me, Mike, will be in the midfield. Melbourne Victory got a very, very young midfield in Sarkis, Pantelides and Ferrante up against the experience of Richard Johnson, Matty Thompson and Paul Kohler. Could be a crucial battle to determine the winner tonight.
Flicked on by Milicic, but not read by Haliti. And that's the sort of combination we're talking about. Milicic just having a word to his understudy, asking that he reads the play. North has the throw for the Jets. Gets it back from Halidi. Early ball in. Ferrante with the clearing header. And Corbo has done well. Still with Mateo Corbo. And Newcastle happy to play that one back to the goalkeeper. Chance here for Newcastle! And Ante Milicic silences the gallery at Olympic Park. A goal out of nothing. And in fact, it won't count. The flag is up. Well, ironic cheers from the crowd. Milicic thought he'd scored. And how close was it? Well, Graham Arnold, whether the goal will count or not, that is twice now that Melbourne have been opened up with a very square line of defence.
Melbourne Victory have to realise also that Newcastle Jets have got the breeze behind them, quite a strong breeze as well. Ante Milicic getting in behind twice with good, sensible runs off the ball.
Carl has Milicic to his left and just took too long, Nick Carl. Milicic was open and calling for the football. Victory hoping to make the most of their reprieve. Overhit pass there from Sarkis. It's a good start this for Newcastle. Away from home, in front of a parochial Melbourne crowd. Percentage ball from Zelic into the channel. That's too far in front of Milicic. It certainly hasn't been the start to the season that Melbourne were looking for, but some good news for Ernie Merrick is that 7 of their next 9 fixtures will be here at Olympic Park. So they've been away on their troubles, the Victory, but if they can turn this ground into a fortress, they have a good couple of months in front of them.
Which they need to do. All Melbourne sides in the past have always been difficult to beat here at Olympic Park or in Melbourne. But they need to get off to a good start and start winning early in the competition. Otherwise confidence drops and it doesn't matter.
Aliti against Clays. Story with the header. Sarkis with the back heel. Read by Johnson, and that's a rugby tackle from Richie Johnson on Pantelides. No action taken by the referee. Quarter ball. Cole has left it. And Carl jumping over the ball towards Kevin Muscat. That was enough as far as Craig Zeta was concerned to warrant a free kick.
Good, Christian, good.
Just over 8 minutes gone here at Olympic Park. Still no goals between the Victory and the Jets. But you would suggest that Newcastle are in front on points at the moment. A disallowed goal. That's a hint of controversy as well. Certainly Melbourne saved by the flag. Ferrante in towards Allsop. Allsop! And again, very good defending there. Chance for Victory though, and it was arriving late. Andy Vlahos. And Allsop has made a real nuisance of himself.
Once again, a good ball there from Michael Ferrante to Daniel Allsop. Well defended by Ned Zelic there, but Allsop got the second chance, cut it back to Andy Vlahos, and well defended there by Jade North on the far post.
Carl. Kohler. Cordobo. Down the line is Haliti, shoulder to shoulder with Leia. Leia gets a foot in and wins possession. Pantelides. Thompson. Cordobo goes over the top. No flag this time, but the pass just had a bit too much on it for Ante Milicic.
Once again, Mike, danger signs for Melbourne Victory. Every time Adrian Layer is pushing up a little bit, thinking that Jeffrey Clace is following up, Clace is dropping off and keeping Ante Milicic on side.
Big kick from the goalkeeper. Good strong header from Allsop. Thompson has time. Comes inside, quarterball, gets into the box. Archie Thompson still going. Well, he went to ground, Archie Thompson, has a glance towards the referee, Craig Zeta.
Good decision here by the referee. See Archie going round. Mateo Corbo pushing it through the legs there of Alan Pickin, but hey, he couldn't get out the way, Mike.
So maybe a trifle optimistic Archie Thompson, looking for some help from Craig Zeta. None came. Vlahos. Muscat time to measure the cross. It's a good ball as well. And Liam Reddy, with two gloves, gets a fist to the ball, but he must have seen it late as well. Melbourne. Sarkis. Vlahos. Cutting inside, going over the top. Out comes Reddy. And I would imagine that's a handball decision against Michael Ferrante, who was the midfielder pushing through. But you have to say, both teams having their opportunities.
Very positive start from Melbourne Victory. Much more confident going forward here. I feel that the midfielders are starting to control the game. Boys are making runs off the ball. Archie Thompson in behind there. We saw Michael Ferrante make a good forward run. Seems much more balance in the Melbourne Victory side today.
Carl. Milicic. And Haliti is beaten to the punch by Clays, but that will be a corner, the first of the game. And it goes to the visiting team. So a chance here for Newcastle from the dead ball. Melbourne have some defending to do. Pickin has gone forward, so too Ned Zelic. And it's Matthew Thompson to deliver the ball towards the goal mouth. Good delivery as well. Late run from North, but he's overrun it. Johnson. And a shot from Johnson blocked, falls nicely for Thompson. Good scrambling play from Newcastle. Zelic in particular, quick to assess the danger. And again, the flag up against Ante Milicic, so it works both ways, that flat back line of the Melbourne Victory. Milicic running off the shoulder of the defenders, just getting the timing wrong fractionally, and it is a high-risk game that Melbourne are playing.
High risk, especially 30, 40 metres away from your own goal. Ante Milicic keeps running off the shoulder of Jeffrey Clace and trying to get in behind Adrian Layer. It's important that those two stick together, Clace and Layer, keep nice and close to each other and with plenty of communication.
Allsop almost going through the legs of Alan Pickin. Story pumps it forward again. Allsop is the target, and he's got the better of his man, Danny Allsop. Support from Vlahos. Early cross from Muscat. Not what he was looking for. Well, it's stepped up a gear, Melbourne. Pantelides unlucky that that one has crossed the sideline. But a bit more urgency about the Melbourne Victory play in the last 5 minutes or so.
And a lot of that's come from down the right-hand side with Kevin Muscat back in his natural position on the right-hand side here. Getting some crosses in, good crosses as well. Some of the service that the Melbourne Victory strikers have lacked in the last few weeks.
We talk about how comfortable Kevin Muscat is in that right fullback role. Same might be said of Jade North for Newcastle, who has played parts of the season on the left-hand side of the defence. And he is a much better player in that natural role on the right.
Well, that's normal, Mike. If you're used to playing a certain position for a long part of your career like Muscat is, He can do a job on the left-hand side, but it's not his natural position.
That should be a free kick. The foot raised from Steve Pantelides. Pantelides tangles with Nick Carl, who I'm sure has been a subject of much discussion in the build-up to this match by Ernie Merrick. Real danger man, Nick Carl. Zelic chips it forward. No one's picked up the run, and it was Jade North arriving late. So lucky, Melbourne Victory. A good delivery from Zelic, but where was the tracking from that Melbourne Victory defence? Muscat. Vlahos rides the challenge of Kohler. Thompson has it. Back to Vlahos. And again, Ned Zelic. Proving to be a formidable last line of defence for Newcastle as Pantelides sees his shot go wide.
Wonderful combination there between Archie Thompson and Andy Vlahos. Once again, Ned Zelic reading the game, reading the cross, and clearing the danger for Newcastle Jets.
And it's probably the way that Ned Zelic just drops off and gives himself that extra metre that is proving to be important for Newcastle at the moment. Playing in a flat defence, but acting as a sweeper when required. Newcastle's depth has been tested over the last couple of weeks with injuries to Steve Eagleton, and now with the news that Craig Deans is going to be out for up to 3 months. Richard Money busy in the transfer market during the week. 2 players arriving on a short-term contract. James Money, a striker, who's on the bench this afternoon, and Ben Kennedy, a young goalkeeper from Maitland, who has replaced Andy Pedersen. Chance here for Newcastle. Haliti! Why didn't he square it? Lavino Haliti, and that is the question that Milicic is asking. He should have looked up. There were better options.
Lucky to get away with that there, but as you see, Kevin Muscat was keeping Nicky Carl onside. Lahiti all through by himself. I have to say, Mike, being an ex-striker myself, I would have shot from there as well.
Well, obviously Ante Milicic, who you can see remonstrating, has a different view.
If he had scored, what would Ante have said?
Great goal. Ante Milicic, a player who feeds off scoring goals. That's been the trademark of his career. Pantelides. And the ball's gone behind Simon Story instead of front of him. He had to check the run. It's all tied up in shots on goal so far. Probably reflects the pattern of this match. Very, very even contest, as was predicted.
Christian, get the ball, Christian.
Story doesn't have a lot of help. Plays, overhits the pass. Liam Reddy has certainly established himself as the first choice goalkeeper with the Newcastle Jets this season, and deservedly so. As we were discussing, his understudy this afternoon is young Ben Kennedy. Andrew Pedersen out with a back strain for this match. Plays. Free header for North. Gets it back from Johnson. Good build up this from Newcastle. Still going as Haliti. Still going as Haliti. And the pass just a bit too firm for Ante Milicic, but Haliti perhaps mindful of the need to improve his combination with Ante Milicic, and that is a very, very optimistic attempt on goal by Michael Ferrante.
You see Michael Ferrante may have been a better option to play the ball through there to Archie Thompson. Did he see Liam Reddy off his line, Mike? Was it a shot or a stray cross?
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that was a shot from Michael Ferrante. I don't know if that will count in the statistics, but certainly wasn't a shot on goal. Liam Reddy had it well and truly covered. Milicic. North. Good ball in by Jade North, and Galekovic smartly off his line, as he needed to be. First time we've seen North really getting involved in the attacking half of the field for Newcastle. Story. And it's a poor delivery by Simon Story, who replaces the injured Carl Recchia for this match. And by my estimation, that means all 19 members of this Melbourne Victory squad have had some time on the park this season. Of course, Melbourne, the only team in the competition yet to fill their roster, as Ernie Merrick intimated before the game. They're looking at a couple of options as central midfielders, and it's a tussle between Muscat and Nicky Carl. And two players who refuse to pull out, going for the same ball, and the referee needs to intervene. So far, Craig Zeta has not had a lot to do. Here is that challenge between Muscat and Carl. And the end result is a free kick for Newcastle. That's come off Allsop. Well, Alan Picken wasn't sure. Looked to have come off the head of Danny Allsop. Reddy will clear his lines. Zelic wins it over the top of Allsop. Sarkis tries to get the better of his opponent. Zelic gets a toe in. Good vision there from Pantelides. Space now for Vlahos, who comes inside. And another disappointing ball into the middle from the Melbourne Victory. But they've got it back. Ferrante still going. Ferrante, important challenge from Newcastle. And it was Jade North to the rescue, just as the Victory were about to pull the trigger. And Pantelides is high and late, and perhaps the patience of the referee has worn thin. It was Kohler, I think, on the receiving end. Corbo, in fact. And no wonder he stayed down. And the first yellow card of the afternoon, not surprisingly, goes to Steve Pantelides, who has no complaints about that decision. I would imagine Matteo Corbo just trying to get his breath back. Corbo, of course, a player who is renowned for his competitive streak, the Uruguayan. That would have hurt.
I think so. Ernie Merrick would be delighted with the first 25 minutes of Melbourne Victory performance here this afternoon. High in intensity, and Kevin Muscat's leading the way. You can see how aggressive Kevin Muscat's been, trying to charge his charges down there, get them going. He's talking to them all the time.
Well, Corbo much happier now that his wife and family have arrived from Uruguay at the start of the week. He's put the microwave away and he's got the home cooking back on the table and saying that life's back to normal. A much happier footballer, and a happier footballer generally makes a better footballer as well. Thompson, Vlahos. Sarkis. Clays. Thompson makes a good run. Jeffrey Clays just asking a bit much there from Archie Thompson. Is this head tennis or is it football? Eventually, it's on the deck. And it's Muscat, who was shouldered off it by Nicky Carl. Muscat's just had a little look up and checked the number. It's number 10. Clays shepherds that one over the goal line, and that is experience from Jeffrey Clays, the former Belgian international. North. Corbo getting his wires crossed. Possession pretty close to 50-50. And as we've said right from the out, this game finally balanced. That was what was expected before the kickoff. That is what has transpired. Both teams having similar amount of chances. Perhaps Newcastle may feel aggrieved having had a goal disallowed for offside. Carl has done well to win it back. Poor ball from North, hands it back to Melbourne. Ferrante. Thompson against Pickett. Here's a chance for Thompson to take his man on. And he just delayed a bit too long there, Archie Thompson. Vlahos will run it in, run it down, keep the ball in play. Chance here for the victory. The late arrival is Ferrante. And Liam Reddy with a crucial stop for Newcastle. Very close to the first goal of the game.
Good period of play there from Melbourne Victory. Well done from Andy Vlahos on the left-hand side. Beautiful run off the ball from Michael Ferrante. Closed down his angle, and Liam Reddy did well defending his near post.
So the Victory have their first corner. That brings the crowd alive. And it comes from Vlahos, a deep ball. One in the air by Leia. That's a great ball from Richie Johnson. The outside of the boot, picks out a teammate some 50 metres away. Here he's on the ball again. Carl. Calling for it in the middle is Milicic. Johnson. Oh, perhaps Newcastle guilty of over-elaboration, because it's now broken for Melbourne. Corbo slides in. Nobody's pulling out of a tackle here. The chase is on for Haliti. Switch from Vlahos again. Muscat taking up a wide position. It's a good ball in as well. And Allsop might have done better. Zelic complaining about the contact. But that's the sort of service that Danny Allsop hasn't had a lot of this season, and it's the sort of service he appreciates.
It's a much better ball in there from Kevin Muscat. Good ball in. You see Daniel Allsop getting up above Ned Zelic. This is a much better performance from Daniel Allsop. He's staying more central. He's been more of a physical presence for the Melbourne Victory up front, with Archie Thompson doing a lot of the mobility, the leg work, and the combination is coming together.
Carl appeals for handball, and he will get the decision thanks to the assistant referee, not the man in the middle. Another look at it. Ferrante saying it hit him in the face. Carl says it was in the arm, and in the end the assistant sides with Newcastle. Kohler. Good work from Matthew Thompson. Probably haven't seen enough of Matthew Thompson in this game so far. Half an hour gone. It's 0-0 between the Victory and the Jets. And most of Newcastle's attacking play is coming down this near side. Matthew Thompson perhaps a little bit isolated on the other side of the park. That'll be a Melbourne throw. Nicky Carl working hard when he doesn't have the ball. What does a player like Matthew Thompson do in this situation when he's not getting a lot of possession?
He keeps sticking to his job, Mike, and that's working hard, winning the ball back for the Newcastle Jets in the middle of the park there. Christian Sarkis has been a bit of a handful for him. His mobility, Christian Sarkis on the ball. He's driving Matthew Thompson back all the time into the defensive mode.
Alidi can't keep that one in the field of play. Well, I wonder what Richard Money makes of this first half an hour from his team.
We'd be delighted. It's 0-0. Liam Reddy's been more of the busier keepers. One thing tactically though, Mike, that Ernie Merrick looks like he's worked on during the week, obviously, is the intensity in the closing down in midfield defensively, but he's isolating Archie Thompson out on the right-hand side here for Melbourne Victory against Corbo in a one-on-one situation.
Simon Story with a good run, but in the end he's forced back towards his own goal. Muscat and Milicic go for the same ball, and they are very lucky to get away with not being caught in possession. Muscat into the feet of Vlahos. He had two runners making good movement off the ball. Allsop and Thompson couldn't find either of them. Halidi trying to get on the end of a long ball from his goalkeeper. Thompson. North eventually makes the overlap. Has it back, Jade North. Swings it in with the left boot, but that's over the top of the two Newcastle players in the middle, and it's an easy take for Eugene Galekovic. Well, we've touched on the goalkeeping situation with the Melbourne Victory. This rotation policy of Ernie Merrick between Michael Theoklitos and Eugene Galekovic. I think you've mentioned what the disadvantage of it from his teammates' point of view, but what about the goalkeepers themselves, Galekovic and Theoklitos? How do they deal with that situation?
Well, it's very difficult for them to get into a rhythm, Mike. You know, they play week in, week out football. They get used to playing with the same defenders. You get comfortable in the goal. You know where your goal is exactly, where the 16-yard box is, whereabouts you need, when you need to sweep the back line, and who you need to cover more of. And that's pretty hard when you're only playing twice a month.
Oh, a good turn of pace here from Allsop, who skips away from Johnson. That's come off Alan Picken, and that will be a Melbourne corner. Much better stuff from Danny Allsop this afternoon. He's overcome a couple of niggling injuries. He scored last week in Brisbane, and he's looking lively in front of his home crowd here this afternoon. Vlahos to swing this one away from the goalkeeper. Doesn't have enough on it. The switch comes from Pickin. It's a good one as well. North. Look how quick Melbourne are to get players back behind the ball. 7 players inside their own half as soon as Newcastle went forward. And in the end, Newcastle running out of ideas.
Michael's on, Michael's on. Run on the second ball.
Mateo Corbo allowed that one to run over the line, believing it was going to be a Newcastle throw. Corbo at this stage, the only South American in the Hyundai A-League, although Fernando Rec has joined Adelaide United during the week. The Brazilian who had a good track record in the old NSL. Ferrante wants to take it quickly, but didn't have a lot of movement in front of him. And Muscat now waves Jeffrey Clays forward, Adrian Leyer as well. He wants some targets to aim at Kevin Muscat. And in the end he leaves it for Sarkis. So some tall timber available for the Melbourne Victory. But the delivery again, it's the second time in a row that Melbourne haven't made much from a dead ball. Haliti. Still going, Haliti, and in the end, down he goes, rather late, and the card comes out. Well, the crowd felt that was a bit of theatrics from Labino Haliti. The issue was he clipped on the way through by Adrian Leyer, and that's exactly how the referee saw it.
I think he was definitely clipped here from Christian Sarkis initially, but he took that one step extra, and down he went.
Well, it was Sarkis, not Leyer, of course, but you could see the run of Haliti impeded by Sarkis. Christian Sarkis back in the starting 11 for Melbourne this afternoon. Zelic and Carl assessing the possibilities for the Newcastle Jets. Zelic appealing to the referee that he wants the ball a metre or so further back. It's not going to happen. I would imagine it's going to be Zelic to try his luck. The pushing and shoving going on in the wall. And a good variation from Newcastle. Very good variation. Offside against Ante Milicic. But they fooled everyone there, Newcastle, including the commentators. Something we don't see a lot of, perhaps we don't see enough of in our own competition, and that is a lot of work done with the dead ball.
Good variation there from Nicky Carl. Ante Milicic, line ball decision there, maybe just took off a little bit early. Good to see some variations on the set pieces.
Another demonstration of Nicky Carl's skill on the ball. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half at Olympic Park between the Victory, looking for their first victory, and the Jets, who are looking for their third victory in a row. Sarkis whips it in ahead of Johnson and has that crossed the line. In fact, there's been a push on Liam Reddy. That is the ruling from Craig Zeta, but it was a close run thing.
It's a better ball in there from Christian Sarkis. Andy Vlahos getting across in front of the first man. Daniel Allsop going in on the keeper there. Or Pantalidi, sorry. Referee giving a foul.
And Thompson keeps that one in, but concedes the throw. Well, they haven't got the goal they've been looking for, the Melbourne Victory, but they'll be encouraged by the number of opportunities they've had. Reddy certainly the busier of the two goalkeepers. Muscat slides in. Corbo. The best of passes from Mateo Corbo. And Leia pumps it forward. One in the air by Picken. His story for Melbourne. Can the Victory get a breakthrough before half time? Vlahos. Not with passes like that. They won't. Sarkis with plenty of room, goes over the top, finds Allsop. Vlahos, it's a run from Muscat and has found him as well. That was a blind pass from Archie Thompson, and lovely skill from Mateo Corbo to get himself out of trouble. Thompson's come looking for the ball. And that is a wild kick from Andy Vlahos. And Mateo Corbo has a right to complain.
Andy Vlahos complaining about an elbow there from Corbo initially. You see here Mike Vlahos comes in from behind trying to win possession. You see Corbo throwing that elbow, but Vlahos lashing out.
Well, he's letting a lot go, Craig Zeta, and if he's not careful, things will start to boil over. This time there'll be a word in the ear of Paul Kohler. It's a fine balance for a referee. Wanting to let the game flow, but also making sure that you don't let too much go unpunished. So far, he's ridden that fine line quite well, Craig Zeta. The temperature's rising. Sarkis. Blocked by Picken. Now some room to move. Poor Matt Thompson, who started to come inside and look for the ball a bit more. Milicic. And Muscat, unlucky. Kevin Muscat, but he's certainly working his socks off, Kevin Muscat. He's at both ends of the park. And you can just see how much he's relishing being back in that right fullback position. Corbo doesn't have a lot of movement from the throw. Well, I'm sure Mateo Corbo wants to see a bit more enthusiasm from his team with the ball in his hand. And again, there's just no movement whatsoever. Milicic. It's a miscued clearance from Muscat. The up and under. Milicic challenges, breaks for Story. A little bit fortunately. Into the final minute of normal time here at Olympic Park, and we're still waiting for the first goal of the game. It's been a real contest between two evenly matched teams. Newcastle perhaps with an opportunity to go to the top of the table with a win here against the Victory, but Melbourne have ambitions of their own. Picking on a run. We are now into time added on, just a minute, according to the fourth official, Perry Muir.
There will be 1 minute of added time.
Allsop under the goal kick, gets his head to the ball. Vlahos, followed by Kohler. Oh, he's a bit lucky there, Matteo Corbo. It took a while to get towards the ball. Carl has wasted possession for Newcastle. A last throw of the dice, perhaps for the Victory before the break. Here comes Vlahos. Turns inside, Carl, and the shot from Andy Vlahos was on target. Thompson now, Vlahos again. And Liam Reddy makes another important stop for the Jets to keep his team in the contest.
We've seen it before, Mike. Archie Thompson floating out here on the right-hand side. This time it's Andy Vlahos. Pulls the ball inside onto his left foot. Great strike. And well saved by Liam Reddy. And
that is the last action of the first half. It's been competitive, it's been combative, but no goals so far at Olympic Park. The halftime score is the Melbourne Victory 0, the Newcastle Jets 0. Welcome back to Olympic Park, where despite some trickery from the likes of Archie Thompson, we're still waiting for our first goal in this absorbing contest between the Melbourne Victory and the Newcastle Jets. Melbourne, of course, still looking for their first win of the season. Let's check the stats from the opening 45 minutes. Possession in favour of the home side, but Newcastle have made more of it with time in the opposition half. Corners fairly even, 15 fouls in total and 2 yellow cards, both to the Melbourne Victory players, Pantelides and Sarkis. Well, it's been an even match as we predicted, and the Melbourne Victory looking to get things underway fairly early in the contest, and it needed a fairly timely interception from Ned Zalic in the 5th minute to get the highlight package underway.
Here we see a good ball there from Michael Ferrante through to Archie Thompson, who does well. Daniel Allsop just about to pull the trigger, and Ned Zelic comes across with a timely interception there.
Archie Thompson there getting in behind, but the experience of Zelic. And the most contentious moment of the first half, Graham Arnold.
It's a long ball here from Liam Reddy, with Ante Milicic called offside. No one picking him up. Milicic finishes well, but unfortunately for him, he was called offside. And as you can see there from the vision, Mike, just offside. Good decision from the linesman. Good long ball there. Milicic has got him behind him on a number of occasions, with Melbourne caught flat. Wonderful first touch here. Pulls it down. Lovely strike with his left foot, but unfortunately for the Newcastle Jets, disallowed.
And Labano Haliti involved at the sharp end for Newcastle.
Here we see Nicky Carl coming in field there. Haliti makes a run off Nicky Carl. On his weaker foot, on his right foot, pulls it across the face. I know that Ante Milicic was square in there, asking for the ball. You see Milicic and Nicky Carl there, not happy with him. But I would have had to go for goal myself.
Well, a good start for Newcastle, but then Melbourne started to come back into the game.
Andy Vlahos did well to receive that ball out wide. cuts inside, good ball across to Michael Ferrante. You see Ferrante's space get closed down here on the near post. He hits it hard and low, and Liam Reddy did well down to his left-hand side to pull off a crucial save there.
And Melbourne coming even closer in the 40th minute.
It's a good delivery here from Christian Sarkis. Andy Vlahos gets across in front of his first man. Ball goes up in the air. Steve Pantelides challenges with Liam Reddy. See here the ball up in the air of Paul Kohler. See Liam Reddy watching the ball, so is Pantelides. You see Pantelides backing into him. And definitely a foul there. Good decision there by the referee.
And right at the death of the first half, another good chance for the Victory.
Well, it seems a tactic from the Melbourne Victory to come out here on this right-hand side through Archie Thompson or Andy Vlahos. Andy Vlahos there cuts inside onto his left foot. Good strike there, and Liam Reddy gets well down to his right-hand side. Pull off a good save there and keep Newcastle Jets with a scoreless sheet.
So no goals in the first 45 minutes of this match. Liam Reddy certainly the busier of the two goalkeepers. Let's check the attack stats of that first half. Melbourne with 3 times as many shots as Newcastle, and also more balls into the penalty area. 5 of the Melbourne shots on target, so Melbourne perhaps are feeling they might have had the better of the opening 45 minutes, but the stat which counts the most is at the top of that picture, and that is the 0-0 scoreline between Melbourne Victory and the Newcastle Jets. We'll take a short break and be back with all the second half action in a moment. It's been no place for the faint-hearted here at Olympic Park this afternoon. This challenge between Muscat and Carl encapsulating the mood of what has been a very competitive fixture between the Victory and the Newcastle Jets. Still no goals though after 45 minutes of action between two evenly matched sides. And it's another big crowd in at Olympic Park, of course, hoping for a first victory of the season for the Melbourne Victory. For news from the Melbourne Victory dressing room, we'll go down to Graham Arnold.
Well, Aaron, you must have been happy with the first half.
Yeah, very happy. It was a much better performance than last week, and look, we just hope now we can start putting some balls in the back of the net, mate.
Structurally in midfield, you guys look much better. I think with Christian Sarkis in there, the work rate and the intensity seems to be on par today.
I think it's something we missed last week. There's no doubt about that, and I think we've come out in the first half, this half, and really pressurised and tackled well, and even disposed the ball a lot better than we did last week. So we're very happy.
Did Ernie mention at all the fact that you've been caught out square a couple of times at the back, the danger signs there for you guys?
We've been caught out a couple of times, but a couple of them been offside as well, so we're not too worried. As long as Eugene's off his line, he can sweep behind there and pick all that stuff up, so we're not too worried about that.
Archie Thompson and Daniel Allsop are combining much better today. Ernie must be delighted with those two.
I think it's probably the best game they've had together as a coupling, and Archie's winning a lot of the second ball. Danny's doing fantastically in the air and really causing problems.
Thanks, Aaron. All the best for the second half.
Thanks, Graham. Cheers.
So a rather buoyant Melbourne Victory dressing room, and why not? They are putting their bodies on the line. The home team, Pantelides, as always, heavily involved. And Newcastle know they're in a game, but they're still in the contest, the Newcastle Jets. It's Nicky Carl, the creative influence for the visiting team, Labano Haliti as well. So everything to play for as we approach the second half between two teams searching for an important victory in round 5 of the Hyundai A-League. So we're all set for the second 45 minutes, and it will be Newcastle to get proceedings underway. North goes long. Clays with the defensive header. Well, both coaches, Ernie Merrick and Richard Money, happy with the performance of their players in that first half, given that they've made no changes during the break. On the bench for the Victory, Vince Leah, Richard Kitzbichler and Ricky Diaco, so a very attack-minded bench for the Victory. While for Newcastle, Guy Bates, Stuart Muselik and James Money, their new signing during the week on a short-term contract. So very attack-minded benches from both coaches. That is a real indication of their intent to win this match. Good work on that far side. The ball into the near post. Again, Zelic was there in the nick of time for the Jets. And Carl now has got in behind this Melbourne Victory defence, and again he gets it back. It's a good break here from Newcastle. They've got numbers forward as well. Whipped in towards the near post. Clay's happy to head that one over the goal line to safety, and it's a corner for Newcastle. Well, he's been commanding at the back for the Victory, Jeffrey Clays. Newcastle looking to make something of this corner situation. And it comes from Thompson towards the back post. Another late run from Jade North towards the near post, and that is a good delivery from North, and some good defending as well from Simon Story, as Ante Milicic looked to turn this one in at the near post.
That's something, Mike, there that Melbourne Victory will have to switch on to. Looks like a planned move with Jade North coming through late. Receiving the ball, getting across in, unfortunately for Ante Milicic, just wide.
Mossop has won it in front of Zelic. Well, he is growing in confidence, Liam Reddy, as a goalkeeper. It's a big opportunity, a big stage for Reddy. And you can see with each week that passes, he looks more and more comfortable, as indeed his defenders do with him.
One thing I like about Liam Reddy, Mike, is how he sweeps the back line normally. Comes out. He's not afraid to come outside of his box and clear the ball.
And of course that is an important ingredient in the modern game. Used to be almost irrelevant how good a goalkeeper was with his feet, but in this day and age it is a very important part of the makeup. Melbourne would dearly love to get a goal early in this second half just to up the tempo. Story. Vlahos tracked by North, gets inside his man, Andy Vlahos. Decent cross in as well. Picken wins it in the air. Here's Ferrante, Muscat. Again, pushing into that final third. It's a good cross in as well from Kevin Muscat. Awkward to deal with for Alan Picken. And Jade North having to work hard for Newcastle on this near side. Archie Thompson, of course, involved with the Socceroos in that recent World Cup playoff against the Solomon Islands. A good performance, a good couple of performances, in fact, both in Sydney and Honiara. Lovely layoff from Paul Kohler. No flag, and that will go to Newcastle. Had a good long look at that, the assistant referee. We've talked about the big names on the park this afternoon, Graham Arnold, but one of the more underrated players, surely Paul Kohler, doing another fine job for Newcastle on that defensive midfield role. He's on the ball at the moment.
Yes, Mike always does a fine job in there. Defensively, Wins a lot of ball back for the Newcastle Jets. Enables to let Nicky Carl concentrate on his own game, and that's going forward where Paul Kohler fills the gaps.
It's all about balance, of course, in midfield, and Paul Kohler provides that for Newcastle. Sarkis, Ferrante. Sarkis again. Ferrante. Antolides. And Nick Carl was aware to it, and that's a good steal from Nick Carl. Options to his left and his right. Still going is Nicky Carl. Haliti. Early ball in from Haliti, and that is a wasted opportunity. Matthew Thompson, who ran something like 50 metres to get up there and support. Just a shake of the head, and perhaps a little sign of inexperience from Lavano Haliti. He's having a frustrating afternoon. Haliti. Good work from Story. And there he is again, Kohler, as we talked about, just sweeping in front of his back four. Vlahos. Important challenge from Alan Picken. Quarter ball goes long, too long in fact. Well, where is the breakthrough going to come from?
It's a good question, Mike. Both coaches are probably asking the same thing. The only difference will be, is Richard Money happy with the point, or will he be going for all three? Is he happy with where they're defending at the moment on the field and what they're bringing forward? For Melbourne Victory, they'll be looking for more from their front half of the field.
Muscat, intelligent ball in. Thompson dispossessed by Mateo Cordoba, who goes down. Free kick quickly taken by Newcastle. Thompson now with North. Thompson gets it back. Well, it's almost like a game of snap. These two teams are so evenly matched in all the key areas of the park. Perhaps Melbourne Victory's position on the table not really reflecting their ability. Good ball in from Haliti, over the head of Ante Milicic, who has had very few opportunities for Newcastle. Thompson, and appeals for handball, mostly, it must be said, from the crowd. The referee might have been unsighted, but no whistle from Craig Zeta. Well, Ante Milicic has had a real frustrating time of it in the last 6 months or so. Missed most of the pre-season, or all of it in fact, with a calf problem. And got himself back into the starting 11 for round one, and then of course, as we know, pulled out on a couple of minutes before the kickoff last week in that match against the New Zealand Knights. So he hasn't had a good run at it. Ante Milicic, perhaps the lack of sharpness is showing in his game, understandably. He feels that he's 3 or 4 weeks away from full fitness. And a nudge adjudged from Andy Vlahos on Jade North.
One thing I'd like to see, Mike, with Melbourne Victory, is when they do get the ball out wide and getting crosses in the box, they've got 3 or 4 players in the box standing still. They need some movement in the box. Arrival late into the box, running onto the ball. One player going first post, 1 second and 1 through the middle. At the moment, everyone's just standing central waiting for it.
Plays with the up and under, taking no chances. Free header for North. And unable to keep that ball in the field of play, Jade North. One of a number of players on show who has played for his country. There's another, Archie Thompson. Salic as well. Clear handball against Paul Kohler. Vlahos. That's a good switch from Vlahos to pick out Muscat. Inside is Ferrante. Also makes the run towards the ball. Early pass in from Muscat. Well, they're trying this quick ball into the edge of the box, Melbourne. It's not worked yet, but there's a few signs that they're getting closer and closer to achieving what they're after. Notice to get Thompson in behind this Newcastle back four. Vlahos inside North. Chips the ball, and that took the slightest of touches from Danny Allsop. A good chance by his standards.
Good ball there from Andy Vlahos. You see Archie Thompson dragging Ned Zelic towards the first post. Daniel Allsop will be a little bit disappointed that he can get more of a head onto that.
And a shake of the head, in fact, from Danny Allsop. He knows what a good chance that was. And that's a real relief for the Newcastle Jets. Well, goals have certainly been the order of the day in the Hyundai A-League so far this season. Just one scoreless draw so far. Well, I guess the question is, are we heading for another?
Well, let's hope not, Mike. Now, Melbourne Victory desperate for the 3 points here. Newcastle Jets have been scoring free-flowing goals of late. And they're always dangerous on the break, Newcastle. So Melbourne Victory have to stay concentrated. Keep playing the way they did in the first half. I've been impressed with the fact that the midfield is getting much further forward to support the front line.
Milicic. And that is a fairly agricultural lunge from Andy Vlahos. He took down his man as he was getting past him. He's running a fine line at the moment, Vlahos. And it comes from Carl. Picken gets contact, but not enough to threaten the goal. Well, a lot of movement among the Newcastle Jets substitutes at the moment. I wonder if Richard Money is going to make a move sooner rather than later. Well, the game just dropping off a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so. There is Richard Money. No real indication of his mood from that expression. And we asked the question again, Graham Arnold, will he be happy with the point? He's got his bench warming up. That may suggest he won't be.
It depends who he puts on. And Ante Milicic might struggle to go the full 90. He was out injured last week. He's had his problems pre-season, as we've talked about.
Oh, a nice moment there between Carl and Muscat. In the meantime, Richard Johnson will get a word from the referee for a late challenge on his opponent. And a chance for Melbourne out of almost nothing. The free kick quickly taken, and Reddy was alert, which is just as well.
Quick thinking there from Kevin Muscat. Archie Thompson getting in between the defenders, a good header. on goal. And Liam Reddy did real well to get down low to his left to keep it out.
So that has brought the crowd to life. Half an hour remaining. Still no goals. Clays. And Ferrante with a volley goes over the crossbar.
Here we see again, Mike, the ball in from Kevin Muscat. Archie Thompson getting in between the defenders. It's goal bound and a good save there from Liam Reddy.
Well, he has had a fine match, Liam Reddy. We talked about the new level of consistency in his game. And maybe the goalkeeping standards in the A-League so far have been a bit disappointing, but you can't make a criticism of the way Liam Reddy has been keeping goal for Newcastle. He gives his defenders a lot of confidence at the moment. Chance here, almost. For Allsop. And it is a sign of a good goalkeeper. If you don't have a lot to do, what you do well. And that's been the case with Liam Reddy.
And he has done that today, and he's done that all season. It's good to see Kevin Muscat much further forward.
So Melbourne coming the closer of the two teams to breaking this deadlock. And a lot of their best work has come from Muscat.
Drop in the middle, that's it.
Pushing forward to get himself involved
Pressure now,
in the attack.
well done.
Thompson. Picken concedes the foul. And Sarkis will take his time. Pantelidis is there, Clays as well. Allsop, a possible target. That's a good ball in from Sarkis, an important header as well from Jade North. And just over the frame of the goal from Andy Vlahos. A good spell for Melbourne. And the crowd appreciates it.
It's a good ball in there from Christian Sarkis. Much better delivery. Well cleared by Jade North. Falling to the fleet of Andy Vlahos. He's tried to bend it with the inside of his foot round. But unfortunately for him, just a little bit too high.
So Melbourne starting to turn the screws. Newcastle under a bit of pressure. How will they respond, the Jets? That is the question. Milicic. Aliti. Well, they are one of the most experienced teams in this competition, Newcastle. So you would imagine they will be able to handle the pressure of the occasion. Just a bit too tight, that angle for Simon Story. And the supporters who've been a bit quiet this afternoon, 13,831 of them, are now starting to find their voice. Another healthy crowd for the victory. But as we keep mentioning, and we'll say it again, they still haven't got the 3 points they're looking for. And here's a chance for Newcastle. And off his line smartly was Eugene Galekovic, and he needed to be.
It's much better there from Eugene, Mike. Sweeping the back line, being quick off his line. Good ball there from Haliti. Good run there from Matty Thompson off the ball. Eugene's out very quickly and smothers the shot.
That was heading in from Matthew Thompson. Corner played short by Thompson. And he just overdid it a little bit there. Nicky Cole read by Ferrante. And it's a chance for Melbourne to counter. Sarkis didn't look up. Christian Sarkis. And Allsop has stayed down after that challenge. Sarkis again. Muscat. Still full of running. Kevin Muscat clipped in. Zelic's clearance. Rebounds. Ferrante wide for Melbourne.
Once again, positive play from Melbourne Victory, and Kevin Muscat, ball coming in the box to Christian Sarkis. Good layoff there to Michael Ferrante. Bit more composure was required.
He's off his seat, Ernie Merrick. He likes what he sees. A lot more life in the Melbourne Victory in the last 10 minutes. And Newcastle having to work hard to keep themselves in this game. Delightful ball from Matthew Thompson to switch the point of attack. Here's Corbo. Carl outnumbered. Corbo has gone forward. Good play from Melbourne, and now Corbo is out of position. And it's Thompson. And that is what you call a professional foul. And that is the way the referee sees it. And the culprit is Paul Kohler.
There we see Archie Thompson on the break, and Paul Kohler chasing him from behind and giving away a professional foul. But Mike, this is a crucial part of the game for Melbourne Victory. This is where they're dominating, and this is where they have to score.
Well, you can hear the crowd. They sense it as well. Olympic Park is sparking to life. Melbourne Victory getting closer and closer to the breakthrough. Free kick to Melbourne, inviting position for Christian Sarkis. Reddy has cleared the 6-yard box. And it comes from Sarkis! And there it is for Melbourne. And it is Archie Thompson who snuck in there and given the Victory the lead. A crowded box. Thompson was there first, and that is the breakthrough for Melbourne.
Just as we called it, Mike, this is a period of the game that they needed to score. Archie Thompson, deadly in there. Delightful ball in there from Christian Sarkis, with Archie Thompson getting in front of Ned Zelic. Beautiful downward header and a great finish from Archie. Everything hasn't gone his way today, Archie, but he's kept on trying and trying. Good delivery there from Sarkis, and what a wonderful finish by Archie Thompson. Hard and low, giving Liam Reddy no chance at all.
Well, he's not happy, the Newcastle goalkeeper, but they are deliriously happy, the Melbourne Victory. And Archie Thompson has given them what they were looking for, and that is a sniff of a victory. Just over 20 minutes left, and Melbourne have got what they deserve.
That's for sure, Mike. It was a matter of time. They needed to score while they were dominating. We called it, and they did it. It's important, though, that they continue playing the same way. Don't drop off. Don't try to tie the result up already. Continue playing for these last 20 minutes exactly the same way they started the first 20 minutes after half-time.
So a test of character now for Newcastle. Away from home, in front of a parochial Melbourne crowd. 20 minutes left, and they're trailing by the only goal. Are they good enough to get themselves out of a hole? North. Thompson. Well, Simon Story disappointed with himself.
We're talking about an experienced Newcastle lineup, Newcastle players. They'll need to show all their experience now to get themselves out of this, start grinding themselves back into the game, start trying to get back on top of the Victory.
Well, it's a second goal of the season for Archie Thompson. Here come the Victory again. Muscat, Ferrante, they're full of running, Melbourne. Look at Muscat sprinting towards the open space. He is a man possessed at the moment for Melbourne. Their skipper, Kevin Muscat. Story. Good ball in. The dummy from Allsop gets it back. Vlahos. And a clean and easy take for Liam Reddy, but they're under the cosh, Newcastle, at the moment. They need some relief at the other end. Johnson. And that's a good ball for Matthew Thompson. Comes inside. North. What can Newcastle do here? The ball in from North, but it's a comfortable header from Pantelides. Only as far though as Johnson. Carl. And Pantelides stays with him. And Carl is in late. Pantelides stays down.
See the tackle here by Nicky Carl. Bit high over the ball on Steve Pantelides. I think Ernie Merrick should look at getting some fresh legs on in there in the middle of the park, Mike. Andy Vlahos seems to be struggling a little bit with his right knee.
Allsop again proving to be a handful in the air. Mightn't have a goal, Danny Allsop, but he has certainly produced his best performance of the season.
That's for sure. The combination with Archie Thompson there is starting to gel. This is only their third game together. Once they get used to each other's play a little bit closer together, and Archie can read the flick-ons from Allsop, they'll be a great combination.
Leia. Muscat gets past Carl. Carl comes at him again. Ferrante. And that ball adjudged to cross the sideline. And Kevin Muscat moved forward. And now we will see the first change of the match. And no surprise, it comes from the Newcastle bench. And eventually, Stuart Muselik will come on. And the player to make way is Paul Kohler. So it's an attacking move by Richard Money. Off goes a defensive midfielder, and on comes a very attacking player in Stuart Muselik.
Good young boy, Stuart Muselik. Coming on for Paul Kohler. He'll push further forward, in beside Nicky Carl, in behind the front two, and try to create more. Stewie makes good runs into the box late, as we saw last week against New Zealand Knights.
Aliti, lovely skills from Aliti. Feels that he was pulled back away from the ball. Thompson. And what a crucial interception that was from Alan Picken, who has had a whale of a game for Newcastle. He really has improved with every outing. Alan Picken, a player with limited experience at the top level. He is on a short-term contract, replacing Andrew Durante, and he has made first-team jersey his own. But he's got more work to do here. Muscat. Great ball from Muscat to pick out Sarkis. And that is good defending from Jade North, not to dive in. A corner for Melbourne. The pressure builds. The victory, 15 minutes away from their first victory. Liam Reddy has more work to do. Deep from Sarkis, and a confident take from a confident goalkeeper, and a good release from Reddy as well. Milicic. We talked about Ante Milicic's match fitness, and it's just those first 5 metres or so that you'll notice it. Getting towards the ball, getting there a yard in front of the defender.
That's right, Mike. But at this stage of the game, 1-0 down, If I was Richard Money, I wouldn't be taking him off either, because Ante Milicic is the player that only needs half a chance and the ball will be in the back of the net.
Vlahos looking for Allsop. You might argue that Ante Milicic needs the 90 minutes as much as Newcastle need him as well. Johnson. Quarter ball. Newcastle not really getting a lot of meaningful possession in the opposition half. It's a very confident looking Melbourne side now. They've got the goal they were working so hard for. And you can see the confidence growing.
This is where in the last 15 minutes, Kevin Muscat, Jeffrey Clace, the experienced players, Daniel Allsop, need to step up and guide the youngsters through these last 15 minutes with their experience.
Oh, Muselic. Oh, he's getting there in front of Eugene Galekovic. The ball was left for the goalkeeper. There wasn't a lot in it in the end. So should we see Kevin Muscat just sitting in now, or should we see him continuing the way he's been going, and that's pushing on?
Continue playing the same way. He's getting Nicky Carl to chase him back instead of Kevin having to chase him all game forward.
Well, it's been a learning curve for Labano Haliti this match. Not a lot has gone right for him. And he'll gain from the experience. Sarkis. Newcastle need to get a bit more urgent. North goes on a good run. Slips it into Haliti, who is onside. He looks up. Thompson is there. But Haliti couldn't pick him out. Story to the rescue. Newcastle have it back. North. Vlahos works his way out of a tight area. And again, as always, offering himself on that far side is Kevin Muscat. Lovely back heel from Sarkis, but it was read by Richie Johnson. Here's Milicic. Carl. Thompson. Carl into the box. Danger here for Melbourne. Nicky Carl. And the shot towards the near post blocked by Galekovic. A couple of questions being asked inside that 6-yard box. One by Ante Milicic, who thought the better option, as he would, was the ball across the face of goal.
Wonderful play there between Milicic and Nicky Carl.
Carl with the corner. Hasn't been cleared. Chance here for Newcastle. The block from the goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, Eugene Galekovic has some work to do. Milicic in there quickly. So the Jets responding all of a sudden. They've got 10 minutes, Newcastle, if they're good enough. And perhaps Ernie Merrick sensing the danger. Makes a change, and it's a round of applause, a rousing reception for Danny Allsop. On comes Ricky Diaco. So a straight swap, a striker for a striker, but a very promising effort this from Danny Allsop. Chance here for Milicic. The back heel, Haliti just couldn't get over it. 3 chances in a row all of a sudden for Newcastle. They're still in this.
3 times Ante Milicic has been involved in the play. Here we see a ball in from Nicky Carl. Good ball in. Ante Milicic gets in front of his defender. Kevin Muscat there tries the back heel. Falls off to Haliti. And unfortunately for him, on his weaker leg, over the crossbar.
And here's that earlier chance as well with Nicky Carl getting in towards the byline. On his weaker right foot, just couldn't get around the ball. Maybe Melbourne might have weathered a storm. The Victory now with a chance at the right end of the park as far as they are concerned. And Ferrante just reacting a little bit there. And the yellow card comes out for Matthew Thompson. That is the first yellow card for Newcastle. They've been a threat throughout the afternoon from the dead ball, Melbourne. Sarkis is the player who's made it happen. So an anxious moment this for Newcastle. And Jade North keeping close to Archie Thompson. Sarkis goes for goal himself, and Reddy read it well.
We see the free kick again. A good free kick there from Christian Sarkis down low left to Liam Reddy's left-hand side. And a good save.
Here goes Thompson for Newcastle. Bends the ball. Doesn't bend it enough. And Ante Milicic very frustrated with his service this afternoon. Confirmation of that yellow card for Matthew Thompson. A header from Picken. Away by Corbo. Muscat just soaking up some time, keeping possession. And that's a poor ball from Jade North. He's created some problems. Sarkis with the back heel. Vlahos doesn't have a lot to aim at. Diaco is there. A lot of communication at Newcastle defence. They had time. Here's Johnson. Corbo. Zelic. Carl gets around Muscat. Better movement now off the ball from Newcastle. Thompson starting to get more involved. And he's looking for Musilik there. And, well, Kevin Muscat. Very cool. There's that one to run through to his goalkeeper. And a smile from Kevin Muscat, who's enjoying the afternoon. Why not as well? He's had a good contest with Nick Carl on that side of the field. At the moment, Muscat ahead on points. The crowd now trying to see the Victory home. Diaco's done well. And the pressure from Johnson was just enough as Archie Thompson sized up the goal.
Persistence there paid off for Diaco with Ned Zelic. Lays the ball back in there to Archie Thompson, but well defended by Richard Johnson.
So time starting to become a real issue for Newcastle. Just 5 minutes remaining. It's the Victory leading thanks to a goal from that man there, Archie Thompson. Sarkis with the corner. Out comes Reddy. Gets a punch. It's broken for Vlahos. Still going, Andy Vlahos into the box. Pantelides. Diaco. And stolen by Richie Johnson. The flag up rather late on that far side. Vlahos adjudged offside. Melbourne will now make the change that they were intending to a few minutes ago. And it's Vince Leah on for Christian Sarkis. Some fresh legs in midfield from Ernie Merrick. 5 minutes to hold the fort.
And the youngster, Christian Sarkis had a fine game today, set up the goal, worked hard, gave that extra midfield in midfield defensive work, and worked it very hard and well.
Carl. Well, he's not too popular, Nicky Carl, with a couple of these challenges, but the referee has not punished him yet. And there he is again. First touch for Vince Leah, and he's on the ground. Vlahos. Good skills from Vlahos, and that will be a corner. He has had a fine match as well for Melbourne.
A fine match. He surprised me, Mike, in the last 10 minutes. He seemed to have found his legs again. He looked like he was gone for all money, but he's dug deep for the Melbourne victory. Doing a very good job out there. Kevin Muscat's having all the freedom in the world on that right-hand side because Nicky Carl keeps coming in the middle of the park.
Vlahos with the corner. Picking with the header. Ferrante with space. Story. Well, Newcastle need to get a move on if they're going to get something out of this match. And North is down. And the referee waits. He has stayed down as well. And he'll need treatment, Jade North, for this challenge on Vince Leah. Late and high, and Vince Leah is lucky that there's no damage.
Didn't look good there on the replay, Mike. Will the referee take action after Jade gets up? And I think the referee's had a bit of luck here where he's been able to look at the replay up on the big screen, which might make up his decision for him.
Craig Zeta goes to the top pocket. And Melbourne want to make a change, and it will be an early mark for Andy Vlahos while this is going on. And Richard Kitzbichler. We'll get just a few minutes. And in the meantime, Jade North comes to the sideline, and he's had a yellow. Probably a bit lucky there, Graham Arnold.
You see that challenge again, Mike? He did definitely go high. Vince Leah going in, but give credit to both of them. They're both watching the ball. And Jade's not that type of player. He would have had no intention to hurt young Vince Leah at all.
North just waiting to get his opportunity to come back on. And that stoppage has taken at least a minute and a half, so still some time for Newcastle to pull something out of the fire. But Melbourne in no mood to relinquish what they've worked so hard to achieve. Leah. And it will be 3 extra minutes at the end of this match. Muscat, still full of running, Kevin Muscat. And forced away from goal by Quarterbolt. And that is a cool head, appreciated by the crowd from Kevin Muscat. Given away by Kitzbichler. North. Too long from Jade North. The Melbourne Victory so close to their first victory, and the body language says it all from Newcastle. They look resigned to defeat. Thompson. Muselic. Fallen behind Thompson. Leah. Ferrante. Leia. Are they playing themselves into trouble, Melbourne? Maybe they are. Newcastle. Less than a minute for the Jets. And that won't help their cause one bit. Onside, in space, with just the goalkeeper to beat, is Archie Thompson. Thompson against Reddy, and Reddy triumphs a one-on-one. And Liam Reddy has had a magnificent match for Newcastle.
Here we see the build-up here, Mike. Good run off the ball from Archie Thompson. One-on-one situation. Alan Pickin does well to come across and close him down. But once again, Liam Reddy in superb form, making a great save down hard and low to his left-hand side.
Well, Victory will take time with this corner. Kitzbichler in no hurry to get it into the middle. Thompson has come short. There can't be long. And the Victory keeping it in that corner. Thompson. And that will be a Newcastle throw. But it's a long way from that corner to the goal at the other end for the Jets. Craig Zeta has a look at his watch. The whistles from the crowd. And Melbourne have hung on. It's a victory for the Victory, their first of the season. And the goal scorer is Archie Thompson. A tight contest, an absorbing contest, but Melbourne deserved in the end to take the 3 points. The final score at Olympic Park is the Melbourne Victory 1, Newcastle Jets 0. And Graham Arnold, a deserved win for Melbourne.
Well, I thought so, Mike. I thought Melbourne showed a huge improvement in form from last week against the Queensland Roar. There was much more intensity in midfield, much more work rate. When they lost possession, they got behind the ball in numbers. And overall, a thoroughly deserved victory for Melbourne, and one in front of their home supporters. Let's hope they're all back next game.
So delight for that gallery, a big gallery as well. Melbourne Victory savouring the moment. Archie Thompson is the hero of the hour. We'll go to the sideline now, and Neil Evans.
Well, there it is. What a victory for the Melbourne side. Their first of this Hyundai A-League season. They had to battle all the way, of course, against a very determined Newcastle Jets side. But Olympic Park, they are rejoicing. Just under 14,000 people have done the job, and they're up and running now in this season. They go to 6 points. And, of course, the goal scorer is Archie Thompson. He was the man. Archie, come on in here. What a sound around Olympic Park. Fleet of foot in the box. You had to bang on the door right for the game, but you got that goal.
Yeah, I just got to catch my breath, mate. The crowd was fantastic tonight, and it's unbelievable. The boys dug deep, and we knew we had to win this one. And I'm just proud of the boys, and this crowd was unbelievable tonight.
You showed patience, of course, right through the half. Were you guilty a little bit of impatience early on, trying the hard ball, I guess, early in that first half?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think we're just trying to get in the back there as quick as possible. Our sort of game plan is to play forward as quickly as possible. And, we had a couple of chances in the first half. I'm just thankful tonight that I got one on the board and that we got a win finally.
They love it down here. A great header. You're up and running, first win, and you're right in the mix. Well played.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. I just want to say thanks to the crowd too. It was fantastic, and I just hope that they keep coming along. Well done. Come on, Victory!
There he is, Archie Thompson, and here it is. A great goal from him. Let's have a look now at some of the stats from this match. Of course, the Victory doing it in style, 56% possession. It was split down the middle really time in the opposition half. 7 corners to 4 for the Victory. 30 fouls in the match. It was nice and competitive, and both sides finishing with 2 yellow cards. Terrific win for the Victory. Let's have a look now at what is coming up. Of course, the highlight show. Do not miss the highlight show. That's where we can see all the action. Is Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. All the drama and action from round 5 in the Hyundai A-League. Well, it's been great entertainment here. The Victory have got their first win of the season. On behalf of Mike Cockrell, Graham Arnold and all the Fox football team, I'm Neil Evans. It is goodbye from Olympic Park.